fallen trees here across the trail. I've been seeing a lot of fallen trees past year or so throughout the forest in Florida. A lot of storms coming through and devastating these areas. But you can see this tree here is fallen over right across this area where I'm trying to get through, but we'll just go around it. A lot of mosquitoes out in this area. I'm seeing a lot of standing water. We're not too far from the creek. Alright, we're going to make our way through this little detour around the tree. Not too bad. Made it. Now right up there is some water just cross over, but it's not too bad. That's how it's been. These little areas of water across the trail, some fallen trees. It's all part of the adventure. Hello, welcome to the woods. Great to be with you guys. What a trailblazer here, exploring the history and wilderness of Florida. And today we're out here in this scenic wilderness, walking some of these trails and some off the beaten path places. It's really beautiful out here. A little humid this morning and hot, but that's not going to stop us from getting out here and getting immersed into nature. Feels good. And there's a lot of tree cover out here. The smell of the trees, the plants are amazing. And it's quite shaded. There's a little bit of breeze coming through. Now, I did make a mistake earlier. Got my pack ready to come out, and then as I got here, I forgot to bring my rain ponchos. And I know there's probably gonna be some storms coming through here later on. And then I got to thinking, I'm just going to keep going this direction because along the way there is an old abandoned cabin of sorts, a shelter I can take refuge in if we need to. The rains get too heavy out here. So let's take a journey into the woods. See what we can discover here along the way. Okay, we are hiking our way further into the woods here. So nice. I really love it out here. Now there's another trail that went that direction. I'm gonna keep going in this direction here. Definitely piques your curiosity. A lot of these unmarked trails and off the beaten path places. If you've never been before, you see these trails, you want to go down and explore and see where they lead, what you can find out here. Intriguing. Right now, I'll go this direction. I looked on the map. I can see kind of where that trail goes. There's a power line not too far from here. It cuts through the wilderness. Some of the trails lead up to there. All right. This is so cool. Just up ahead, you can see remnants from some sort of structure. Old fishing cabin, perhaps, out here along the creek, because it sits right on the creek. Let's take a look around at this area. It makes you wonder about the history. Who was out here? It's such a nice place, and it's prime with this cabin out here along the creek. Enjoying the nature. Part of old Florida. And that's what we're experiencing today out here in the woods. Areas like this where you can see water and mud, you can often get a sense of some of the wildlife in the area because you can see their tracks here. I'm seeing some raccoon tracks. What do you think? There's a deer. All over in this area. You can see all the wildlife tracks. You can see the water lines here on the trees, indicating just how high the water levels reach out in this area. I'd say this is pretty dry considering how much water does get out in this place. The creek is just up ahead here. And when that gets really high, all the water goes into this surrounding floodplain here. Now this is interesting. If you look over here just up ahead, you can see remnants from a structure there in the woods. You can see the roof. It's collapsed. There's a trail over here, old road around the area. Old cabin once stood out in this area by the creek. Now you can see how large this structure was. Mostly just the roof here remains with some supports holding up part of the roof. Wow. Still standing after all this time. Who knows how much longer. The structure was probably modified over the years, used for various purposes. I'm glad to be able to come out here today, see this site still standing, document it here for all of us to experience. Now over here is the creek. Over here is the creek. All right, mission accomplished. Made it to this old fishing cabin, explored around the area. It's really intriguing.